What's up, guys? In this video, we're going to be looking at the top stocks and penny stocks that have the potential to go to the upside. I'm also going to explain to you guys an important information that you can use in order to determine exactly how to find these specific stocks that can potentially go up 100, 200, and 300% for the next few weeks and the next few months, guys. So I'm also going to show you guys exactly stock market recap and what are the economic reports that can potentially affect the stock market to the upside, to the downside for tomorrow, guys. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to explain to you guys all this information coming up. Now let's get right into the video. Alright, guys, so before we get into the video, make sure you smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and if you have any comments or any questions, make sure you drop it in the comment section below, guys. As you can see over here, guys, so we had a very solid stock market today, mainly because of Moderna vaccine progress that really pumped up the stock market, guys. So they announced the news yesterday that, they had for this vaccine that they've been working on, they've been experimenting with actual human trials. So they had 45 people that they actually tested this vaccine on, and the report came out actually a week ago explaining exactly how, they actually saw positive results, and the majority of, the people, even like the maximum of the people actually, the vaccine worked effectively on those people. And a week later, after you got peer reviewed and other researchers kind of did exactly reviewed all the research that these companies did, and they approved it, and they actually saw that the progress that this company made is actually solid. So now the stock market reacted to this information yesterday. So when the peer reviewed and extra researchers actually saw the results and kind of approved it. So that's why it kind of took like a week before, this information was actually available like a week ago, but that's why it kind of took some time, for the stock market to react, So it reacted positively yesterday after hours. We gapped up, started to gap up to the upside a lot, and this stock eventually went up a lot, So even today it was up a lot. So that was mainly that affected the stock market yesterday, guys. So we got economic report that affected the industrial sector. We talked about this economic report yesterday. We got the capacity utilization and also the industrial production reports that came out at 9:15 a.m. So for the period of June, so it was super positive. They were expecting 4.1%, but they got 5.4%, so that really helped, the industrial sector to have a very solid and strong day. As you can see over here, all of these stocks in this sector are actually up a significant percent. So all of it are actually positive, mainly because of this report, and that is really fantastic. That's why we need to pay attention to this economic reports, because they can affect these specific sectors that these reports are coming out from, guys. So really pay attention to that. Also, a really important concept that I really want you guys to know is what it's called a sector rotation. That, as you can see over here, since we got a hopeful positive news about a vaccine coming out pretty soon, the sectors that have been selling off to the downside a lot actually started to bounce, so they started to get a traction because there's a hopeful that there's going to be vaccine coming out pretty soon. So as you can see over here, we got the travel services sectors, stocks in that sector have been up 21% up to the upside, 16%. We got the airline sector also, as you can see over here, these stocks in that sector up 16, 14, 9%. All of these companies that have been beaten down, you got the resorts and all these companies that have been beaten down in these specific sectors started to actually climb up to the upside. So what exactly happening is what's called a sector rotation. So when you look at all of these companies that have been leading the way to the upside, we got the Nasdaq, we got Amazon, we got Google, Microsoft, like Apple, Netflix, and all these companies were getting, to the extended to the upside, because those are the companies that, even though there's going to be virus or the pandemic kind of spreads across the world, across the US, and these companies are super solid, and they're still going to be a very great companies to kind of put your money in. But as you can see, when there's a glimpse of hope, these companies, there's going to be a sector rotation where money's going to actually start flowing from these major companies, instead of people buying in and just making these Nasdaq top tech companies go to the upside. Actually, money's going to start flowing into these companies where they're actually been beaten down and they have super solid potential, to go to the upside, like 100, 200% the upside if, we find a vaccine. So I'm going to talk you through exactly these top company, guys. So you need to really pay attention to sector rotations, money actually flowing from these huge tech companies, people buying it and just accumulating lots of share from there, actually money flowing into these other sectors, So when you look at these sectors specifically, we got, the sector of consumer cyclical. This is going to be the travel industry. So we got 14 stocks. As you can see over here, we got these stocks actually bounced like 20%, 21%, 17%, 16% to the upside. So if positive news about a potential vaccine and get things getting back to normal, you better believe these stocks are just going to go to the moon, go up 50%, 100%, because they've been beaten down a lot. As you can see over here, and these specific companies, for example, we got the Norwegian Cruise, actually added 20%. You got Carnival Cruise, which added 16%, and just to name a few from this travel services industry, which is the sector is going to be the consumer cyclical. We also look at the airlines. As you can see over here, we got American Airlines, who started to bounce today because of hopeful vaccines. So if there's a vaccine, people are going to start going back to travel and start using airlines again. You got United Airlines, which is up close to 14%. The majority of these stocks that are in these specific airlines started to bounce very, very good today, up 10, 11, 15% to the upside. So that is really, really fantastic. And also when you look at the other companies like resorts and casinos that have been closed due to the major pandemic, when they start to hear that there's a potential vaccine found, they start to rise up again. As you can see, the main leader is going to be MGM. This is the company that's super volatile, have high growth, and as you can see, this is the company that kind of spiked up significantly today within the specific sector, is like 12% to the upside. We also have Penna Nation Gaming. This is also a company that bounced significantly, 18.9% to the upside. And these are the sectors that you need to pay attention to when money starts flowing from one sector to the other sector for potential of the economy reopening up again, because you better believe if the economy opens up, these stocks are beaten down a lot. They're just going to start bouncing back up to the upside, guys. Now let's move on to the top penny stocks. I'm going to be talking about 2 penny stocks, guys, in this specific video. One of the penny stocks that have been spiked up to the upside a lot is going to be ticker symbol GENE. This is also one of the companies that kind of is associated mainly because of the COVID-19 test they kind of started to introduce, guys. So as you can see over here, it's up 150%. And the main reason why this stock is up is because the company actually filed a patent for the specific COVID-19 severity risk test. So they're trying to basically get a patent pass for this test. What this test is, basically you take it and it shows you exactly if you actually contract the virus, if you are going to actually have a severe effect on your body. So there are people that actually get the virus, they're asymptomatic, like nothing basically happens to them, and there are other people that kind of contract the virus and they get super sick and they need ventilators and they basically eventually die at the end of the day. But if you take this test, it's probably going to tell you exactly if you have risk. So what they did is they're going to see your genetic information and extra your medical history, all that. They're going to be able to kind of test you using the test that this company is going to produce, and they actually filed the patent in Australia. So this is a very solid swing trading opportunity in the future if you want to get involved in this specific company and hold it for several weeks and even months, because you never know when they're going to get approved for the patent. But you better believe it, if they get approved and if they release an update about this information in the future, you are definitely going to see the stock going to potentially spike up, guys. So now let's look at exactly what are the key price point levels that we can use to get involved in this company. As you can see over here, it really went up a lot, and it had a lot of people got interested in it. People that day traders that wanted to day trade it today because the volume and the range were significant, so it kind of broke out of the $5. This is a multi-day, multi-month breakout, multi-year breakout basically, because this is the area which is $5 that it had in the past, where it kind of tested it and kind of sold off, unfortunately, after it tested the $5 area. But today it broke out and it closed of that price point. So it opened around the 250 area and went all the way up to around $8.50, and it basically closed at $5.67. So it broke above it. That's fantastic. But now you have to wait for it if it can actually stay above this price point of $5 and kind of start to consolidate. Maybe that's going to be a great opportunity if you want to build a solid position for a swing trade. If you believe this company, the patent is going to be approved in the future and there's going to be a potential spike that could potentially happen, So as you can see over here, the institutional ownership, the insider ownership of this company is 86.5%, So there's a lot of insiders that own this company, and the share of the float, as you can see, is only very 6 million shares. So that is super small, guys. So this company can easily be, spike up to the upside if there's a lot of day traders involving it, because, supply and demand can be really skewed because there's only 6 million shares available of this company out there. So also, the volume that it had today, the average volume for this company is 1.53 million shares, but the volume it traded today, it was 372 million shares, guys. So there's been a lot of buying and selling, and a lot of people have been day trading it because it had a catalyst, and it's a short float, and you can definitely have a good trading opportunity if you want to day trade it. So, but now let's move on to the second stock that we're going to be looking at, guys. The second stock we're going to be looking at is going to be ticker symbol IBIO. And this company also spiked up because of, the COVID, it's associated with COVID-19, So this specific company did not have a specific catalyst or information that kind of make it break out to the upside. But however, I did some kind of research on it, and I figured out exactly why this stock actually went up to the upside. So as you can see over here, the share outstanding for this company is 101 million shares, and, insider ownership is not that much. Institutional ownership is not that much. What makes this company different from other COVID-19 vaccine stocks is that it has really a potential to kind of mass produce the vaccines if it can potentially have a vaccine ready. So this has a really large capacity to produce up to 500 million vaccines. So this is really, really fantastic. So there's a lot of potential for this company to also collaborate with other companies if they develop their vaccines to kind of help with the production process. So there's the companies also working on a vaccine. So that is something that is positive, but they can definitely produce it with a large scale amount. They actually have a factory, in Texas, so which is really, really fantastic. So that's what makes this company different. But I did not actually notice any kind of important news that kind of came out that drastically affected the stock market today, the stock for this specific stock today. But this article came out on July 10, and it talked about exactly, some of the positive things, to start buying in this company instead of like trading it, kind of invest in this company because of these main reasons I just mentioned right now, guys. So when you look at the chart over here, it broke out of like the $3 area, which was kind of like a multi-month breakout. As you can see, that's kind of the strategy that you can use, and it kind of closed above that price point. So what is the ideal price point to get involved with this if you want to potentially, if you have faith in this company after you do your own research, is like you can use the $3 area, right? So if it potentially stays above that price point, starts to consolidate, and kind of respects even the $2.50 area that it just broke out of, it's a good opportunity for us to kind of risk the area that it broke out of. And if it kind of stalls off below that, that is a way to get out, But also, if you believe there is a potential for this company, it can continue to go to the upside. This is a great opportunity to get involved in it using these two key price point levels for an opportunity for continuation to the upside. So it broke out to the upside. Now it's a matter of if there's going to be continuation to the upside after you kind of do some fundamental research, and if you believe that there's going to be a continuation happening based on the data that you gather, guys. So now let's move on to what are the important economic reports that they could potentially affect the stock market for tomorrow. So we have really, really important reports coming out tomorrow for July 16. We got lots of reports. At 8:30 a.m. we got the initial jobless claims. That's going to be for July 11. So the previous was 1.3 million. And the forecast is 1.24 million. And also at 8:30 a.m. we got the continuing jobless claims, and this is going to be for July 4th, and the previous one was 18.1 million. And also at 8:30 a.m. we got the continuing jobless claims total NSA. This is going to be for June 27. The previous one is 32.9 million. And at 8:30 a.m. we got also the retail sales. This is going to be for June. The previous month was 17.7%. And the forecast is going to be 5.4%. And at 8:30 a.m. we also have the retail sales X autos, and this is going to be for the month of June. And the previous one was 12.4%, and the forecast is 5.3%. And at 8:30 a.m. we got the Philly Fed Index. This is going to be for the month of July. The previous was 27.5, and the forecast is 18.1. At 10 a.m. we got the NAHB Home Builders Index. This is going to be for the month of July. The previous month was 58. And we also have at 10 a.m. we got the business inventories. This is going to be for the month of May. The previous was negative 1.3%. And at 11:10 a.m. we got the New York Fed President John Williams speaks, and also there's no specific time, but the Chicago Fed President Charles Evans speaks tomorrow also. Really, there's a lot of economic information that could drastically affect the stock market. Is super sensitive to this jobless claims information, so make sure you keep in mind all those reports are coming out tomorrow, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure you give it a smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or any comments, make sure you drop in the comment section below, guys. I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys on another video tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.